and welcome back to my channel again, TorAthena, where today I'll be reviewing a sample of issue ones that have come out this week. This week was a very nice week. There was about 7 issue ones that I picked up, so it was kind of a healthy but manageable read. But because it's Halloween this week, I thought that I would pick just the horror comics that have come out this week to review. So let's go! Coming of Rage by Liquid Comics, written by Craven and Steve Niles, and drawn by Francesco Biagini. In the back of this book, Craven writes a page where he says years ago he started a joke with a vampire, a zombie, and a werewolf walk into a bar. There was no punchline, but he fell in love with the opening of this joke, and years later, alongside Steve Niles, this story has come about from that joke. Most of you know Craven as the director of Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street, and Steve Niles is the famous legend who wrote 30 Days of Night. Together they have come up with this very good coming of age story where 3 people come to grips with the powers they have and who they are. Pros! The characters aren't original, but the concept is. I flew through this book. It reads in a way that you can't put it down, and it's so easy to just keep turning the page after page after page. It was really good. Even though it's the first issue, they've really written it in a very clever way that you're already starting to get a real sense of depth with some characters, and that's quite hard to do in a first issue. At the back of the book, there's little sketch notes and stuff like that, so you get extra value for money. Although it's a con that Craven is no longer with us, the fact that they have a memorial page for him is just such a beautiful con, and it actually made my eyes sting a little bit reading it. Cons. The only con I had was that certain parts of the comic felt a little bit rushed. Certain events were shoehorned in a little too forcefully to get these 3 characters together. However, it could be one of them stories that go back to events to explain them, which would make sense. Overall though, this was a fun horror comic. I don't get to say that often, and I love the fact that I can. I am definitely at least buying the next issue to see where it goes. Black Magick by Image Comics, written by Rucka, who wrote Lazarus, Stumptown and Gotham Central, and drawn by Nicola Scott, who also did Birds of Prey, Secret 6 and Earth 2. Rowan Black is not only a detective for robberies and homicides, she's also a witch. No one knows of her secret identity until someone threatens her life for that very reason. And now she's concerned the dark forces are returning once again, and she has to warn the Coven. Bros! The art! The art! The art! The art! I cannot remember the last time I fell so in love with an artist so hard. It's just beautiful. It's so warm and rich and detailed. There's a scene where the bad guy is like looking off camera, and you can see the veins in his eyeballs, and it's just the really bad thing about me doing reviews, when I truly love something like a lot, I become really bad at explaining why. I get so tongue-tied and worked up and excited, but it's good. The story flows really well. The pace is very addictive. You want to keep on reading. It naturally progresses from A to B to C to you want to keep reading. It's really good. Cons. Honestly, I can't think of one. I'm really struggling. I actually get stressed out when I can't see a con with a comic because it's not a non-biased or fair review, but I really can't think of one. The story as a first issue is a solid read, and I have definitely picking up the second issue to see where this is going. Overall, it's fantastic. You've got to read it. Da, 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 da. Oh, it's kind of a Halloween one. It should be a little bit spooky, so it should be, ooh, the pick of the week. I promise I will never do that again. But yeah, pick of the week is Self-Storage by 451 Media Group. Story by McLeod Chapman, and the art is by Matt Timson. And it's really strange because I have to admit I've never come across these 451 Media Group publishers before until last week. Was it last week? I picked up Sunflower? It was. And now they're pick of the week. And go figure. We've all seen storage wars. We know the concept. People buy these abandoned, unpaid for storage units and sell all the stuff to make a living. Well, the protagonist, Chris Smith, does exactly that in this comic. Until he gets much more than he bargained for, and he finds Jessica in a unit. If you found a zombie locked up in a storage unit, would you keep it? Pros! This was a tough choice to make because Black Magick, like I said, had no cons, and usually the pick of the week is one that has the least amount of cons. But also, this comic is the story I read this week that evoked the most emotion from me. And I think I've made a tough choice, but my choice is going with what made me feel the most. And this comic did. It made me laugh, it genuinely held me in suspense, and it genuinely shocked me in places too. That's everything that good writing does. And apparently I've just fallen in love with monochrome art this week because this is beautiful. It's a beautiful black and white, very detailed, shaded. It reminds me of a lot of the older Walking Dead issues. I just loved it. It's so beautiful. The pacing to this story is incredible. It really is like a movie. It's like they've made it inspired to be a movie. There are scenes where the panels don't even focus on the people that are in the scene. As an example, Chris is walking past having a laugh with his buddies, and you can see him walk past Unit 83. And as they walk past, the panels don't follow them. It just stays fixated on Unit 83. And it's so simple, but it's haunting and it creeps you out a little bit. It's brilliant. Cons. My only con is a personal one more than a professional one, but I really didn't like his fiancée. She didn't like his career and thought it was weird what he was doing, and I don't find that believable in any circumstance. Unless she was a snob and she wanted him to have a better, like, office job, but that's not what she says. That's not how it comes across. But I also wonder if that's because my career is based on second-hand buying and selling, that I don't find it as weird. I don't know, but I found her character not as believable as everyone else. Overall, this was a brilliant comic, and although it was a tough choice this week, if I could only subscribe to one comic this week, this would be it. Thank you so much for watching this week. Have you read any of these comics yet? Are you looking forward to reading any of these comics? What do you think? Tell me about it. You know I love talking about comics. Also, what are you doing for Halloween? I'm unbelievably not doing anything. I don't like going out, overpaying for taxis, or going to really busy places that I've got to pay to get in. No, it's not for me. I love house parties, but no one's having one, and so I'm just having a night in, watching horror films by myself. Maybe I won't watch horror films. I'm not very good with, I love horror, as you can tell, but I can't watch horror films by myself because I just go to bed and I'm convinced all the monsters are under my bed. I'm 27 and I still genuinely believe that. I can't go to the toilet at night. But yeah, what are you doing? Are you dressing up? Tell me what you're dressing up as. I'm getting ready for Sunday's Level Up birthday party, so maybe it's a good thing I'm not drinking on a Saturday night. Well, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe and comment and all that jazz. It makes my day. I'll speak to you soon. Bye!